The first lesson was yes should never be a complete sentence. All right, we got that. But now comes the hard part. Lisa, you said the details have to follow the decision. That makes a lot of sense to me, Lisa, because I done got myself in a bind too many times with saying yes to stuff that ended up stressing me out. Okay. But now, Lisa, that means that I got to talk to people. I got to establish some boundaries with my yes. I got to communicate. So you're not a bad decision maker. You're a below average communicator. So let me tell you what that means. I'm about to teach you four ways to be a better communicator. Because when I say details follows the decision, that means, let me put it in layman's terms, communication follows the decision.
Optimal health is not a privilege, it's a right. However, unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of health challenges today can be attributed to lifestyle. This includes our physical activity, the quality of our relationships, stress, purpose and fulfillment, and of course, our diet. But what if there was an alternative? What if we could prevent and combat these health challenges with lifestyle changes before pills and procedures? You are listening to the Plant Protocol podcast with yours truly, plant-based health and business coach, and now the forever voice in your head, Lisa A. Smith. It's time to come get this health.
So several weeks ago in our community, during our Thursday morning mindfulness call that we have every week inside of our community Clarity, someone said that she hopes people stops asking her for stuff. So during our call, we were just talking about things that we needed to feel some relief in this season. Overwhelmed, busy, there's a lot going on. And she said, I'm praying, I'm hoping that people stop asking me for stuff. And I could totally relate and understand where she's coming from. Like, I want these requests for me, my talent, my presence, whatever it is, to stop coming in. And so I could totally empathize and understand where she was coming from. However, after listening further and giving it some further consideration during the call, I suggested that she try something different. I suggested that instead of praying and hoping that people stop asking for more of her time, talent, and energy, also known as things that we have no control over, I suggested that she instead pray for discernment, right? And so instead of the requests stop coming in altogether, because people wanting your energy, your talent, your time, whatever it is actually a blessing. It only becomes a burden when we're already overcommitted and overwhelmed and overstretched. So one of the things that I suggested was that instead of praying for the requests to stop coming in, that she instead prayed for better discernment on what to say yes to, right? And as we kind of talk through that and mull that over, the ending question, the takeaway here is, are the people the problem? The people who want more from you, the job who want more from you, your family who wants more from you, the community who wants more from you, are they really the problem? Are they the real reason that you're really overcommitted, overstretched, working beyond your capacity, right? Or is the true problem your response to the requests? Right? Because there are some people who are praying for people to need them, to want them. Like you've been blessed with a talent. You've been blessed with a character. You've been blessed with energy. You've been blessed with know-how. There's something you do that people want, right? People want more of you. People want me on their stages speaking. People want me in front of their audience, right? When you guys listen to me, you reach out and you want me to coach you personally, right? You want to know how I can work with you. Now, a less mature version of me could pray that people will stop asking. However, that's not what we really want if we really think about it, right? There may be a time, God forbid, where the requests for your services, for your presence, for your energy, for your talent dries up. That's not what we really want. But what I suggested to this client in our community was that instead of praying for people to stop needing you, how about we pray for discernment? How about we pray to improve our ability to choose and decide what to say yes to? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. For those of you who are battling chronic stress, and that stress is coming from overwhelmed because you have your hands in so many different buckets. For those of you who are battling with stress, because that stress comes from so many commitments that you've made, and you have like so many different people and entities relying on you or wanting you. When your stress is coming from needing to be in 10 different places all at once, when you constantly feel like you're going, you're on the hamster wheel. If your stress is coming from overcommitment and working consistently beyond your capacity, today's morning keynote is for you, because stress is a silent killer. I've taught this a ton of times. All stress is not created equally. So you have acute stress and you have chronic stress. The chronic stress is the type of stress that kills. Now, for those of you who are dealing with chronic stress as a result of being overcommitted, overstretched, committed beyond your capacity, I have a suggestion for you, because you think the stress is a result of just having a super long to-do list. You think the stress and the overwhelm and the pressure is because you have 1,000,001 things going on at one time. But I have a different suggestion for you today. I'm going to propose something slightly different that might give you a different perspective on all of your commitments and how to handle them at once. So welcome back to Monday Morning Keynote with yours truly, Coach Lisa A. Smith, founder of Clarity, the community dedicated to eliminating chronic stress for high performers, leaders, and entrepreneurs just like myself. I have been in several seasons of burnout. And so when I talk about things like chronic stress, overcommitment, overwhelm, this chronic pressure, always feeling like there's more to do, never feeling safe, putting stuff down and resting and recovering. Believe me when I tell you, I'm speaking from personal experience. And so there's no better person to talk about this with you guys today. In addition to the fact that I've been coaching other performers through this over the last 10 years, right? And so trust me when I tell you, our conversation today is coming directly from individuals just like you who have shared with me in sessions in our community, like the pressure that they feel with having a lot going on. And I want to break down to you what the real issue may be. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, because as I was reviewing what I wanted to cover today for Monday Morning Keynote, I realized that it might be some edge snatching. I realized that there might be some pearl clutching. I realized that there might be some toe stepping. There's one particular thing on my list today when I break down how to do something. I'm going to tell you what that is in a minute. There's one particular thing on my list that's going to really trigger some of you guys. I know it because I know you very well. And so please make sure you got your emotional support team. Listen, I don't know if y'all saw my post on Instagram last week or a couple of days ago, but I got my annual blood work back. Your girl biologically is 30 years old. So talk to me nice. Talk to me, like watch your mouth. I'm out here. All week I've been doing 30-year-old stuff. Like I dipped down without being near a rail or anything. And I just went low to the ground, just knees all over the place. You feel what I'm saying? Like I've been doing reckless stuff all week. Went to Chipotle, told them to give me extra guac. I don't care how much it is, just reckless with money. Like I'm 30. Like my blood work said I'm 30. So I've been acting up. It's been giving 30-year-old behavior all week long. They messed up when they gave me my blood work. They said, biologically, you 30. I said, And y'all, I don't know, for those who might be planning a family or whatever, but I pay extra for like advanced blood work because I wanted the reproductive health panel too. Like, what does my blood work show for as far as my reproductive health, my egg reserves, all of those things. And it's so interesting because it said that it's not abnormal, but like out of range is how it comes out, right? And so when it came to my like egg reserves or whatever, it said it was out of range. And usually when you get blood work back and something is out of range, it usually means in a negative sense, right? Like either it's too low or something is too high, right? Because we know, for example, your triglycerides or your insulin or your vitamin D, there's a range. Like you want to be in between these numbers to have a healthy amount of vitamin D. You want to be in between these numbers to have healthy levels of triglycerides, right? And so for my egg reserves, it came back and said it was out of range. And so I'm like, what? But I look at it and I click on it. It's like it's out of range because it's above average. It's like for a woman your age, usually your egg reserves are supposed to be like 1 point something, whatever. They was like, yours is 4.5. They was like, you have egg reserves of someone in their 20s and 30s. I said, that come from eating like you got some sense and eliminating chronic stress, honey. Let me tell y'all something. Your girl over here, super fertile, like a 20, 30-year-old fertile. So when I say talk to me nice, talk to me nice. Who knew that all them green smoothies, all of those squats, all of those black beans, all of those legumes, all of those berries every day, all of my intermittent fasting, it works. It pays off. So anyway, y'all better watch your mouth because a 30-year-old, they don't know about consequences. They talk crazy because they don't care about losing jobs and stuff. So that's how I'm out here. Like I'm out here on my 30-year-old swag. Don't talk to me crazy or I'm popping off in public. Like move over because these knees can do better than, like, don't play with me. Okay. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about being overcommitted and stressed out from being overwhelmed and too committed. Here's the issue. Okay. So just not too long ago, I was talking to a client, right? So I work with people one-on-one, guys. I do group coaching. I do individual private coaching, right? Let me get my 30-year-old came out. Lisa, get back mature again. Okay. You got teaching to do. Got it. All right. Here it is. Okay. So not too long ago, I was talking to a client who was feeling the pressure of having a lot going on. And she was really like, I feel like part of the reason I'm overwhelmed with work and family and home life and, programs that I'm in, and she's in school too, is like multiple things, right? Like several of us, multiple things at one time. And she suggested that the reason she feels overwhelmed because of everything going on, she said anytime she feels overwhelmed because of all that she has going on, she accredits it to being a not so great decision maker. Now, I want you guys to hear me closely, and I want you to just drop one in the chat if you've ever thought this. Have you ever just paused, or you're just reflecting on everything you got to do that day, that week? You might be driving down the road. You might be getting ready at the house, whatever it is. And you're like kind of beating yourself up. Like, why did I say yes to this? Like, why did I commit to this? Like, why did I agree to this? Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm tired. Like, why did I agree to volunteer at the church? Why did I agree to head up this initiative for my sorority? Like, why did I agree to do this overtime or cover my coworker? Like, why did I agree to be on this project? Like, why did I say yes? Like, why am I here? Tired is too much. Jesus, take the wheel. Like, you start questioning, like, why did I do this to myself? Like, why did I make this decision? Why did I agree to this? Like, why I put my kid in one more activity is too much. All of this back and forth, all of this scheduling. Like, why did I just say yes to my kid? Yes to my partner, yes to my job, yes to my church, yes to my sorority. Like, I'm overcommitted. I've done too much, right? So just like you, my client said, when I start feeling overwhelmed, it makes me feel like I'm a bad decision maker. And I'm here to tell you guys that it's not that you're a bad decision maker. The reason you are overwhelmed from all of your commitments is because you're a below average communicator. I'm going to say it again. When you start feeling the pressure of all the things that you have to do, all the commitments that you've made, all the things you have, already agreed to, so you can't let people down, right? It's not necessarily because you're a bad decision maker. For many of you, it is because you are a below average communicator. And what do I mean by that? Okay. Details follows decisions. So what's happening for a lot of you is that you are saying yes because you're like, I want to be part of this initiative. Like, I'm super into health and wellness. I actually want to help my church get healthier. Like, I'm super into health and wellness. I actually want to help, my sorority get healthy. Like, I'm super into this thing. Like, I want to do this. Like, of course I'm into my kids. I want to see them be great. I want them to play the instruments and play the sports and be in theater and whatever it is. I want to support my spouse. I told him I was going to be there. I'm going to do it. I told him I would help him. I'm going to help him, right? So it's not that you're a bad decision maker, but you may be a below average communicator because details follows decisions. Why is that a major takeaway for you today? It is because for many of you, after you make the commitment, you're not communicating the details. So when stress comes, when you're overcommitted and you feel like you don't have an exit strategy. Exit strategies comes from making decisions, but then when you make decisions, you have to get clear on the details of that decision. So let me break it down a little more, right? Because every yes that you give, y'all know how we say that no is a complete sentence. Y'all know how we say that no is a complete sentence. Here's where I believe we went wrong and why many of us are operating above our capacity. It is because you also are treating yes as a complete sentence. You're treating yes as a complete sentence. So what that means is you're saying, yes, I can volunteer. Yes, I can be there for that. Yes, you can play that sport. Yes, we can do that this weekend, honey. Yes, right? But you can't treat yes as a complete sentence when you are committing your time. See, no can be a complete sentence because details don't have to follow a no. Follow me, y'all. Listen to this. This is very important. The nuances of yes and no. Okay. No is a complete sentence because there's no details required. Like if somebody asks you to do something, like I need you to bake cookies for the school. I need you to lead up the financial literacy workshop for the sorority, right? Like if you say no, there's nothing else to be said. It's just like, I ain't got it, right? Like it's a no for me. Like it's giving, get somebody else to do it. So a no can be a complete sentence, but where we've went wrong and the reason many of us are struggling with time and capacity is because we also think that yes is a complete sentence. We also are treating yes like a complete sentence. And when you treat yes like a complete sentence, whoever's requesting your time, energy, talent, whatever, it gives them free reign. So no is a complete sentence. Yes is not a complete sentence. What has to follow a yes is details. Details must follow an affirmative decision. Now, why is that important? And here's what this has to do with communication, which is why many of us are stressed out and overwhelmed, okay? It is because when you give a yes, it doesn't mean you get all of me all the time. When you decide to delve into the details, when you make the wise decision to delve into the details of your yes, it is then that you establish how much and for how long. Okay, I'm trying to go slow because I don't want to confuse anybody. Here's the common language that I know all of you guys will understand. Terms and conditions. Terms and conditions. You know how you go to the website to do something, and before it allows you to go forward, you have to agree to the terms and conditions. Here's what's happening. You know how on a website, we check a box and we don't actually read the terms and conditions? You doing that in real life. You done got so used to agreeing to whatever is in that box without actually reading it virtually that you've started doing it physically. So what's happening is you're so anxious to move forward that you're agreeing to terms and conditions without understanding what they say. And when you have not established terms and conditions to go along with your yes, that is when pressure, stress, overcapacity, overwhelm starts coming into play because you've overcommitted yourself by blindly checking the terms and conditions box. Terms and conditions. So visually you check it without reading it, which means you're acknowledging everything that's in that box without fully knowing what's in that box. So in order for you to stop being so doggone overwhelmed from all of your commitments, is your yes has to be followed by details. Your details have to follow all of your decisions. You guys are making decisions without addressing the details. You're making decisions without addressing the terms and conditions. So that means someone asks you to do something. You're not establishing for how long. Okay, well, you want me to be a part of the health and wellness committee for the church. Okay, how long will I have to do this? What's the time commitment you're anticipating each week? What exactly does that even mean? Like, do I got to build stuff? Do I got to run the Zoom meeting? Do I have to come up with the curriculum and actually teach? Like, how much am I in the front of the scenes? How much am I behind the scenes? How often are we doing this health and wellness ministry? How many people are we expecting? Is there anybody else on the board that I'll be working with? Like, who's the leader in charge? Who do I report to? Do I have a backup if I can't make it? Like the terms and conditions. And so then what happens is you at home getting ready or you in your car by yourself and you cussing everybody out. They asking for too much. they taking advantage of me. Like I didn't agree to all this. First of all, yes, you did. The details didn't follow the decision. So that you agreed to the terms and conditions when you just made yes a complete sentence. The moment you made yes a complete sentence is the moment you invited stress in. The moment you made yes a complete sentence is the moment you invited stress in. So the first takeaway here is yes is not a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence because it doesn't require any details. Yes requires a crap ton of details. And when you don't establish the terms and conditions of your commitments, you invite stress into the equation. And then you mad at everybody else for asking. How you mad at them for asking? Sometimes you be needing help. You're going to be asking for help one day. You mad at the wrong person. You need to be mad at the man and the woman in the mirror because you gave a blanket yes. Sip your tea, sip your tea. Now's the time for emotional support break. Now, here's the next part. Here's the last part I need to teach you today, okay? So the first lesson was yes should never be a complete sentence. All right, we got that. But now comes the hard part. Lisa, you said the details have to follow the decision. That makes a lot of sense to me, Lisa, because I done got myself in a bind too many times with saying yes to stuff that ended up stressing me out. Okay. But now, Lisa, that means that I got to talk to people. I got to establish some boundaries with my yes. I got to communicate. So you're not a bad decision maker. You're a below average communicator. So let me tell you what that means. I'm about to teach you four ways to be a better communicator. Because when I say details follows the decision, that means, let me put it in layman's terms, communication follows the decision. So in order to establish details, also known as terms and conditions, you have to communicate. For some of you, you are below average communicators. And that's why your yeses always stress you out because you have not made a habit of speaking up for yourself. So what I'm about to tell you is going to hit home for some of you because you're a below average communicator because of some stuff that's in the way. All right. But you don't have to improve your decision-making skills necessarily. You have to improve your communication skills in order to not let your to-do list or your commitments stress you out from here on out. Now, listen, I'm going to teach you how to be a better communicator. And some of these are going to trigger you guys, but it's necessary. You know, I'm not here for your comfort or your convenience. I'm just here to give you the lesson. All right. God gave me the divine download. I'm giving it to you. Okay. So how to be a better communicator. Okay. Some of you are cerebral people like me. Your brain, logic, black and white facts, that leads over emotion. We're all emotional, okay? We all have emotions, but some of us lead with emotion and others of us lead with logic. Both of them can be harmful if you don't apply it in the right situation. So neither one is right or wrong, okay? I have tried to apply logic to a situation that required emotion, right? And some of you have tried to apply emotion to a situation that required logic. So you're not good or bad. It doesn't matter what you lead with. But here's what I need you to hear for step one to be a better communicator, is that one of the ways that you become a better communicator so that you can establish the terms and conditions of your yeses is schedule a conversation. That means plan. This is especially for those of you who lead with emotion. So if sometimes your feelings get in the way of being able to talk to people and communicate with people, then you have to plan a conversation. Maybe it is not the best time to discuss the details immediately of whatever the arrangement is. One of the best ways to make sure you actually communicate properly, especially if you know you are more of an emotional person, is to plan a conversation. A planned conversation is less emotional. A scheduled conversation is less emotional. So you have to know yourself. If it's hard for you sometimes to get out of your feelings to discuss things, then wait. That means hold space for your feelings first, have the conversation second.
If you've been listening to this podcast, if you've been taking notes, if you've been telling yourself, I know I need to move, but I'm just not ready yet, this is your moment to decide who you actually are. We are days away from Fully Surrendered, the Radical Obedience Assembly in Houston, Texas, May 2nd and 3rd. And there are only 10 seats remaining, not 50, just a few. This is not another event where you sit in the back, take notes, and go home unchanged. No. This is going to operate more like a workshop. This is a room where you confront the patterns that have been keeping you stuck, and you make a decision in real time to walk in radical obedience. Every attendee is going to complete a radical obedience assessment before they attend so that we and you are crystal clear on the area that you need the most support in so that you can get just that when you touch down in Houston, Texas. Because here's the truth. The longer you delay the decision, the longer you stay in the same cycle of stress, confusion, and hesitation. And moreover, you don't need more information. Ask me how I know. You need an environment that demands a different version of you. And that's what this weekend is all about. So if something in you is pulling, if you feel that tension between who you've been and who you know you're called to be, don't overthink this. Go secure one of these final 10 seats, because when those 10 seats are gone, the room is closed. The link is in the show notes. I hope to see you in Houston.
Now, let me back up here for a second and make sure we're all on the same page when I say communicate. Communication is not, I said it. That is not communication, right? Communication is not, I told them I was busy, but I would help out a little bit. And then you mad at them. Like, I told her I was busy. I couldn't plan a whole baby shower. Child, that was not communication. She know I got a lot going on. He know I got a lot going on. Why would that? No. You did not communicate. It don't matter how well they know you or they should know you. It don't matter that you mentioned passively that you got a lot going on. You still mad at the wrong person. You're a below average communicator. So now go ahead and plan a baby shower like you said you would, because it's your fault. It's your fault. Go figure out who doing the balloons. Okay? It's your fault. Yep. Now you responsible for planning the whole girls trip. Why you mad at them? Because they ain't pitching in. You the leader. You said you would do it. Now you mad because ain't nobody contributing. You a below average communicator. It's not them, it's you. And the first step is, if you know you be in your feelings, if you know you upset, plan a conversation. Do not try and have it while you in your feelings. Because you resenting everybody in a moment. You feel like you doing everything. They not helping. You feel like your team on the job, they letting you take the lead and they not contributing to the project. Like, plan a conversation. Be very careful. Because when planning the conversation sticks to the facts, that means we here to establish the terms and conditions. Okay? Because my bad for not doing that up front, but I'm going to correct this now because I'm overwhelmed and I'm about to be mad at you. Okay? So step 1 for communicating better, boys and girls, plan a conversation. Planned conversations are less emotional. We're just not telling people, it's not enough that people should know, y'all. Like, I don't care if it's the person that sleep next to you at night. He know how much I got. She know how much I got going on. Why would that? No, just have a direct conversation about the issue and the commitment at hand. Just have a direct conversation. You got to establish the terms and conditions, babe. I want to support you. Here's what I have the capacity for right now. And here's why, right? Like, stop pushing assumptions onto other people because you a poor communicator. Okay. So that's step 1, plan a conversation. Okay. Step 2, similar to what I said earlier. Number 2 is understand what communication is. So in order to be a better communicator, you have to know what it means to communicate. So what that means is, just because you said it doesn't mean you communicate it. Listen to this very carefully, because I used to make this mistake thinking I said it. I told them, well, like, especially when it comes to my team at the company, I used to be with my assistant, like, I told her, like, what's the issue? Like, why it's not getting done right? That's not communication. So first of all, you guys have to know that telling somebody is not communication. You have to say it. You have to confirm it was heard. And then you have to confirm it was received in the way you intended. Communication cannot be a one-way thing. That completely negates the definition of communication. Just because you said it in a room where they were all sitting there doesn't mean they heard it the way you said it, and it was received and interpreted the way you meant it. That means somebody needs to be repeating something back to you. That means the terms and conditions have to be in black and white. Like that means when I said that I can do it for, this is how I want to teach. That means that you heard me say I want to teach. That means you didn't hear me say I wanted to run a Zoom meeting. That means you didn't hear me say I wanted to take attendance. That means you didn't hear me say, you see what I'm saying? Like you have to make sure that you said it and it was received. Okay. So that means that, let me see, Perfect Peace said, give me some examples, please. Okay. So communication is not, I just said it, right? Let me see if I can think of a quick example for you guys so that it really resonates and it really lands, right? A super basic example would be something like, I might ask my sidekick, ask my right hand Kiwi, like, okay, Kiwi, we doing this masterclass on Thursday. Are you going to be there? And she might say, yep, I'm going to be there, right? Or I might say, let me make the example even simpler. I might say, Kiwi, we're doing this masterclass on Thursday. I need you there. And she says, okay, right? We didn't communicate if she was going to actually do something while she's there. Now, when I said I need you there, I meant I need you there and I need you to do something. But what she heard is, oh yeah, I'll be in the room. But then we get on a call. I'm like, why you not playing music? Why you not facilitating? Why you not like, oh, I thought you just wanted me there to support you. I didn't know you needed me there to work. Does that example make sense? Perfect Peace. So communication is not just I said it, right? And they agreed that they heard me. Communication is I said it. It was received the way I intended, and they confirmed that we are saying the same thing, right? So understand what communication is. That means when I said, I have a masterclass on Thursday, will you be there? And she says, yes. Does she understand that I meant I need you there to work. I need you there to facilitate. I need you there to teach. I need you there. Like, oh, I thought you just wanted the team there because sometimes you just be wanting the team there to be in the room. I didn't know you needed me to talk. I didn't know you needed me to teach. I didn't know you needed me to let people win the Zoom. I didn't know you needed me to record. I didn't know you needed me to start streaming. So communication is not, yeah, I told her to be there. No. Communication is I asked would she be there. And when she said yes, I told her my expectations for what I meant by will you be there. Does that make sense, everybody? Just tell me Perfect Peace is if that makes sense. Like communication is I said it, I confirmed that you heard it, and I confirmed that it was received the way I intended, which means there's some back and forth. I say it, you repeat it back to me, and then we're both clear on what the terms and conditions are of what I said. So when we do this a lot of times with like people we love in our life, with our partners, right? Like we say things thinking that we're both saying the same thing, and we don't always mean the same thing, right? And so we got to just be very careful with how we are defining communication. Like, I told him I wanted kids, and like he's like trying to get pregnant now, and you're like, oh, I meant after I get done with this big project. Right? That I want to start planning for a family. That means I want to start planning for the family. He ready to start making a family. Like communication is not I said it. It is I said it, you heard it, and it was received the way I intended. Right? So for a lot of you, part of your below average communication skills is coming from thinking communication just means I said it. Right? So that is so important. It is so important. Right. And then Kiwi just made a good point on YouTube. She said, in return, I must ask as well, like, yeah, now it even gets better when you have two people who are masterful communicators, which means I can say it, hey, Kiwi, will you be there on Thursday? And she can be like, yeah, I'll be there. What exactly do you need from me? Ooh, now we getting juicy because we are both committed to terms and conditions, right? And so communication is not just I said it. And that's why so many of you guys are stressed out from overcommitments. Because number one, you're not discussing the details after the decision. And even when you do maybe try, it's not real communication. Okay. It's either an emotional conversation or it is not confirming that your intentions were received the way they were meant to be received. Let's get into number 3. This is how to be a better communicator, because your issue when you're overcommitted is not a decision-making issue, it's a communication issue. Okay. Okay. Number 3. And then remember, I told you, hold your hats for number 4. Okay. Number 3 is oversight. Listen to this one very closely, because this one is going to be hard for some of you if you believe talking to people is confrontation. Like, so many of you guys believe that when you express yourself to somebody, it's confrontation. And those of you who are like, I'm not a confrontational person, I don't like confrontation, this number 3 is going to be hard for you. Number 3 is, after I've committed to something, I've said yes, and I was smart enough and wise enough to discuss the terms and conditions. So number 3 means, oversight means, after we've established the terms and conditions, if the conditions change, I reestablish the terms. Listen to this very carefully, guys. When you first establish terms and conditions, they are based on those conditions. But how many of you know that things change over time? Let's say you're committing to be the president of your local chapter, and that position is a 1-year or 2-year position. You're going to be the president of your local chapter of whatever organization for a year. You're going to be president of the board on a nonprofit that you sit on for 2 years. Now, the terms and conditions that you were wise enough to establish probably worked for you in that first year. But looky-loo, because your husband was ready to get pregnant, because your wife was ready to get pregnant. Now you pregnant at the end of year 1. The conditions have changed. How do we become a better communicator? We revisit the terms when the conditions have changed. The only way that board seat or that president seat is going to stress you out, now that you got a baby on the way, is if you decide not to communicate that, hey guys, my conditions have changed. Can we revisit the terms? Oversight is number 3. You have to continue to communicate throughout the commitment so it doesn't become stressful and you don't become resentful. For many of you, you actually did a great job when you gave the yes. You actually did discuss the details after the decision, but because the conditions have changed and you have not revisited the terms, now you irritated. Because when the conditions change, so should the terms. Like, look, when I said yes to this, I had this going on. I had the capacity. I had whatever. Now that my life looks different, now that your life looks different, like whoever conditions have changed, now things need to be reestablished. I cannot overstate this enough. It worked for you when you first gave the yes. Now it's not working for you as well. But because some of you have an issue with people pleasing, because some of you think that this is considered confrontation, now you don't want to reestablish the terms, and now you stressed out and mad at everybody, and you cussing them out when you really the problem. Like, you ain't communicate your needs to nobody. How you mad at them? How you mad at them for still expecting from you what you originally agreed to, because you're not communicating that your conditions have changed? Poor communication. So how do I become a better communicator, Coach Lisa, a better communicator? Oversight. Well, we can't really talk that much about this administration, but allegedly every governmental agency is supposed to have an oversight committee. I don't know how well that's working for us, but oversight committee is not just for governmental agencies. You need an oversight committee for your commitments. You need an oversight committee. An oversight committee is making sure that things are going according to plan. There's oversight for this situation. And part of the reason we are overwhelmed and stressed out is because we are not revisiting terms when conditions have changed. You were single when you said yes to that. Now you got a whole partner to consider. Things have changed. You was renting. Now you own a house. Things have changed. You lived in a whole different city. The commute was shorter for you. Things have changed. Go back, and some of you guys, this is a directive from your coach right now. Some of you guys need to be revisiting terms and conditions today with somebody. Because if you on here stressed out because of your commitments, it ain't got nothing to do with the commitments. It got to do with your communication, your lackluster communication. Let's get into number 4. Because this is the one. Make sure you have your tea. Make sure you have your emotional support beverage. Make sure you have your pearls, your edge control. I'm going to give y'all a 10-second countdown, go get your edge control, because number 4 is usually the main reason that I've seen as a coach in the last decade as to why people are poor communicators, okay? So this is for somebody, okay? This is for somebody, and I'm not sorry, because we need the help, okay? Number 4, the fourth and final way to become a better communicator is you have to heal. You have to heal. Okay. Let me say it in a soundbite way so y'all can write it down and remember it. I know we like sound bites and alliterations. So somebody put this in the chat. Heal so you can hear. Heal so you can hear. What does that mean? Okay. Communication, as I told you, is not just saying stuff, right? It's a exchange of saying and listening and repeating and confirming, right? Okay, that's communication. Some of you can't do that well because you're so unhealed. That means nobody can even ask you a question without you interpreting it as critique. That means if no one can express how they feel without you getting offended. That means that you can't tell the complete truth because you're worried about how people are going to see you, right? So you be fabricating stuff and making stuff. Like, this means that nobody can disagree with you because when people disagree with you, you shut down. Like, you still got that silent treatment in your system, that old played out, like, unhealthy way of communicating. You got silent treatment in your system. Now you ain't talking to somebody for 2 days while you work through your feelings, right? You the problem, okay? Some of you, you believe expressing yourself is confrontation. I want to tell him or her or them that I'm not available, or this time don't work for me, or I'm actually, not really qualified to do that, but I don't like confrontation. You need to heal. Heal so you can hear. Okay. Every time somebody asks you a question, it is not, you have perfection issues. And so you can't even get critique or feedback. Like, you have, I'm not enough. You got imposter, you got inferiority complexes. And so your filter so messed up that information comes into such an unhealed filter that you can't communicate because everything sounds like they hating on you, or everything sounds like you're a bad person and you don't know what you're doing. Everything sounds like you messed up and you're a failure. Everything that comes in sounds like, like you don't know what you're doing. Everything, like, your filter is so unhealed that you can't even hear properly. People can't communicate with you because every time they do, you shut up. When somebody says, there's a better way to do this, there's a more efficient way to do this, or that don't look right, or that don't sound right, or that could be done better, you taking it as a personal attack. Like, you so afraid of rejection that you can't even communicate. Like, you need to heal. Somebody write that down. Oh, come on, Terry, that's good. The spirit of offense. Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you for summing that up. The spirit of offense is so all over you. People can't talk to you. You need to heal so you can hear. You get in your feelings so much. I hadn't had that before. Like, I done had teammates where I can't even tell them, this is actually not that great. This is not the best. They get in their feelings so much. Like, in the past, I done had people like that. Like, their feelings get hurt so bad that we can't even move forward and make this excellent because we got to sit in your feelings for a minute. Like, how did you expect it to be excellent? You learning. I know you learning, but I got to give you feedback. Now you in your feelings for 2 days and we can't even move forward. Heal so you can hear. Heal so you can hear. So please, we're begging you. Please. Does that make sense, y'all? And let me tell you something. Communication is the key to not being overcommitted and overwhelmed. There's nothing wrong with a healthy yes. The prayer is not for people to stop asking you to do stuff. The prayer is for better. Lord, help me to have better discernment. Lord, help me to be a better communicator so that when I do give my yeses, the details follows the decision. The terms and conditions follows the decision. God, I know no is a complete sentence, but it turns out yes should never be a complete sentence. Your relief is in the details. Y'all got it? So that's all I have for y'all. That's my takeaways for today. That's my gift from me to you today. I hope that resonated for some of you who are constantly feeling stress and pressure from being overcommitted and overwhelmed, thinking, I'm not a good decision maker. Why did I agree to this? That's not the problem. The problem is that you didn't keep agreeing to it. Y'all hear the difference? Why did I agree to this is not the problem. The problem is why I should have kept agreeing to, meaning we should have constantly been revisiting the terms and conditions. Like I just blindly said yes with no terms and conditions. And so now you're resenting everybody, your family, your friends, the church, the board, the job, and it ain't their fault. You should never be mad at people for asking. Asking is a compliment. Okay. Be mad at yourself for being a below average communicator. Y'all bring y'all takeaways up in here. Pearls of Wisdom said terms and conditions and heal so you can hear. Yes. Look at the forever voice in y'all head, giving it to y'all today. Listen, if you listen to the Plant Protocol podcast, you know I am the forever voice in your head. And I just want to thank everybody who listens to my podcast, because when I talk to you guys privately or see you in person, you're always like, you really are the forever voice in my head. I listen to you and I'm adopting these things and I'm changing my mindset and changing my beliefs. So I want to personally give a shout out to everyone who listens to the podcast. And, I'm going to talk to my podcast editor, guys. Look, I think I might do something special for the podcast. Like, I think I might record some episodes for the podcast only. Like, don't do them on YouTube Live. Maybe I'm going to do some special. Let me think about that. Are y'all interested in that? Let me know if y'all are interested in having like a special podcast only series and what you would want it to be about. Like, I'm going to kind of take a vote on there. Now, I'm not sending out no formal form, but let me know if like, Lisa, I want to learn more about this stress piece or this piece or that piece or whatever. Maybe I'll do a special podcast only series just to bless my podcast listeners. So it won't be on social media like it usually is, but I want to. You guys have just blessed us so much with your consistency with listening, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The true teacher don't know if they did a good job unless the students are repeating back what they heard. And so this is the fee for free for me. Like, I'm willing to come on here every week, every Monday, and do a keynote for y'all. But the fee is that you got to take something away. I got to be clear that you got what you need to go make a different decision going forward. So guys, the takeaway for today, is just really none of us should ever, here's the takeaway. None of us should ever be stressed out because we got too much to do. Because this is a situation that we create. And if it's a situation that we create, that means it's a situation that we control. Okay? So no longer should any of us be stressed. I'm talking about chronically stressed, the type of stress that kills you because you have too much to do. That is a situation that you create. And it's a situation that you create, you can control. So the homework from today is I want you to sit down and look at those commitments that are causing you overwhelm, that are causing you some type of unease or extraordinary pressure. And I want you to decide who you need to have a conversation with. And this even goes for people who are dependent on you. Like, this could even go for children. It doesn't have to be for adults. Like, you might have committed to something with your kid, and now you got to revisit that commitment. Like, it's a communication. And if you're like, I don't want to disappoint anybody, then you need to go heal. You see what I'm saying? Some of us can't communicate because we need to heal. And so the disappointment is not that you got to tell somebody the terms need to change. The disappointment is that you're not healed enough to tell them. Okay? No more stress from overcommitment, because these are circumstances that we created, and that which we create, we control. So this is a communication issue. I'm wishing you guys the best of luck. Until next week. Bye, y'all.
You tuned in today because, like me, you refuse to let your good become the enemy of your great. You're not settling for good health when optimal is well within reach. If you're ready to go from good to great, visit lisaangelsmith.com to learn more about our plant-based health coaching program, Farm to Table, and our plant-based business accelerator and coaching certification. But before you go, if you enjoyed what you heard today, please consider rating and reviewing this podcast. Until next time, remember, radical obedience is still undefeated. Stay obedient.